Okay guys, in this second session or in this second tutorial, we are going to add a toggle switch to our app to kind of like add priority. Remember that list, if we go back to a list, we can decide where to add the elements. Remember that if you append, you are adding elements to the end of the list, but you can also add an element in any index of the list. It can be the first, it can be the last, or it can be in between each element. So let's say you have all the different animals in different order and you had some of them like this. Okay, now if I want to add the bird to this list, but I don't want, I want it at the first position. If I need to put bird at first position, cat will need to move, fish will need to move, snake will need to move in order to place bird. Okay, so it kind of works like this. Whenever I add an element in between, I need to move all the elements. So let's say dog is going to be in position 2, so I move fish and cat, and then dog goes right in. Okay, and let's say horse needs to go to position 1. In this case, all the elements will shift to the right, and then horse automatically goes there. Okay, so that's how a list works. So we're going to do that in Thunkable right now. Okay, so we're in Thunkable, and what we're going to do is that we're going to create a toggle switch, so to set the priority of whether our to-do list goes or our to-do activity goes to the last position or it goes to the first position of our list. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that I'm going to add a toggle switch. It goes a switch. I'm going to put a switch right here, and I'm going to just move it a little bit underneath the text input, and then I'm going to create a label that it's going to say high priority, and I'm going to change it to priority to see if it's high priority or low priority. Okay, and in this case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a condition with this toggle switch. So that's very simple. I'm going to go to my block diagram now. And when I press the submit button is when everything is going to happen, okay? Remember that this is our trigger. So I'm going to just remove the information that was inside the click because I need to put something before. When I click, I need to create a condition. So if okay, and I'm going to retrieve or get the value of the toggle switch. So I'm going to click on the switch number 1, and I'm going to get the value from the switch. Remember that a toggle switch only gives me true and false. Okay, so I can use the toggle switch value in order to do this. Another way we could have done this is creating a Boolean variable. Okay, a Boolean variable to store what the value of the switch is. Okay, so we can do that, and we're gonna put the value here. So I'm gonna create a variable. Instead of doing directly, I'm gonna create a variable, initialize a variable, and this is gonna be my priority. And I'm going to set it to whatever the value of the switch is, okay? Okay, I'm going to go to variables, and I'm going to say that this variable is false. So we're going to make it false at the beginning, okay? Just to initialize the variable. Then when I actually click on the value or click on the button, I need to overwrite the variable priority. So I'm going to click on variables. Okay, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to click on variables, and I am going to make my variable priority set variable priority. Let's see if I can have it here to whatever I get from the toggle switch. So I'm going to click on switch, and I am going to get the value of my switch. Okay, that way I create a variable, a Boolean variable, which is always false, and depending on this is where I decide. Okay, so after this, I'm going to create the condition, and this condition will tell me if the variable is true or not. So if priority, okay, depending on the variable priority, if it's true, if the variable priority is true, then I need to insert the element in the first position of the list. Okay, so I'm going to go to list, and I am going to click on in list, insert at. From what list? From my to-do list. Okay. And I'm going to insert at, it says, and here's easy. In Thunkable, it's very easy. You either say last, first, or at the certain index, or in a random position in the list. That's really interesting. So we're going to put it at first just because it's high priority, and we are going to put it as the text input that we decided. So the text input, we're going to get the text from the text input. Okay, so we're adding at first. And then if this is not true, like if it's false, if the priority is low, I am going to put the list, okay, and insert it at the last position. When this is done, we are going to view the items, okay, view the items of the list, then set them to true, and then we're going to update our screen. So that's pretty much it. That was a modification to kind of like send the elements to the top of the list or to the last portion of the list. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how this works. Let's try to play around with it a little bit. So we're going to click on preview. I see my priority that I can toggle it from disabled and enabled. So let's start with low priority. Maybe low priority is maybe call the doctor. Okay, doesn't have to be today, so I'm going to put it here. It's I'm going to say go to the gym. Might be not a very high priority right now. Check for homework. And finally, we are going to say just watch my series. So those are low priority. As you can see, they're going to the last position. Now, if I want to create a high priority, I'm going to toggle the switch. And I'm going to say I need to study for the test. This is super high priority. When I click submit, you see it goes right to the top of the list. And pay the bill goes right to the top, okay? And it works the same. When I click on it, I can just delete each one of them, okay? As you can see, this list will remove the index created. Okay, just as a note, I clicked on the element and everything was erased. It's because there was an instruction right here that I had to take out, that it went from the last activity, but this would be the final code, so it works perfectly. Okay guys, so see you in class, and I hope you get to practice a lot with lists.